this for us and for our family and our employees, the people that we have. I mean, it's a nice business. We make a good living, and we're gonna. Do we want to be, or does he want to? I mean, I'm retired. I've got my own problem. I'm busy doing other stuff. But does he want to be acquired by another company? And all of a sudden they're profit driven. They just want to make money and maybe grow the company and then dump it to somebody else and that chain goes on and on. Or do you want to just stay and be a good family business?
I think for the for right now, at least, if I say, all right, what are we going to do for the next few years? I mean, continue to automate, continue to be more streamlined. How can we be more efficient? How can we be, what are our systems in place? And so that's kind of what we're doing right now, is to see, how we can improve on that. And that might, drive some costs out of this, some expenses down a little bit, while trying to obviously grow.
And you were talking about a third generation there. Your son Ryan also works for the company, and right now he's out there doing his job, so he couldn't be here today. So I'm sure that that's something that the generations will have to discuss together too. I mean.
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, he joined initially. My son Ryan, he came out of college. He had a quick little stop with some business development gig here and there, and he's, I think when he talked to you, he said, what do you think about maybe joining and doing some marketing? And he handles our so we do stuff with our digital marketing. So he handles all those with Google and Microsoft, and he manages our campaigns. And we said, all right, do you want to start getting into some sales stuff? Yeah, get into sales. So, he does a lot of the quotes and the follow-ups, and we talk, throughout the day of who we're going to get back to and follow up. So, yeah, I mean, it's just what I like about it is because I'm now in that role, so to speak, that my dad was, and Ryan's where I was,
Yeah,
so
that was you 25 years ago.
Yeah.
He was afraid to answer the phone. He said, somebody's going to ask me a technical question. I don't know what to do, So I said, well, you trial by fire.
We're working on that, get to more trade shows, get in front of people, and we'll be doing that. He'll be with me hopefully at Automate, and we'll be probably
great. I'll see you there.
Yeah, but some of our manufacturers and some of the booths, and that's just it. You just got to be out there, and you got to tie. And then eventually these same questions come over and over, are very similar, and you start picking it up. And that's what he's doing. He's doing a nice job.
I would like to know if you have any like a memorable moment or a story from your years working together at RMA Electronics that might be a good,
between us and the customer, or between each other.
Whatever you want to share, either a memorable story, whatever you want to share.
I like the story that remember the guy that was using at the time with the Pentax lenses that had put the dummies in the crash cars.
Mm-hmm.
We had a customer who came to us, and it was Ron's customer. And if you ever see these high-speed videos of a car crash, and they want to know, the dummy flies over, what happens to the seat, does it fall apart? And then they announce. Well, they put these very, very, very expensive $10,000 high-speed, multi-thousand frame per second cameras inside the cars, and they put lenses, and different cameras around. And initially, we would sell the lenses to a customer, and a year later, he'd call up and buy all the same lenses again. And maybe the second or third time he would do that, he started asking questions. Well, what are you doing? He's, well, crash testing. Oh, but he always wanted these Pentax lenses, and very specific model. He said, well, we have these new lenses. No, I want these Pentax lenses, blah, blah. And Ron would ask him why, because they don't fall apart when the dummies crash and the cars, and they're destroying $20,000 cars, and they're destroying $10,000 cameras and everything. But they would keep these lenses. They said, these lenses are great. Sometimes the things would all get bent up, but they still work. And we asked him, could you maybe thank us or tell us or write a little article? So the guy did. So he wrote an article that, remember, we sent him, and we published it in the magazine, I think, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
automotive.
It was a great story. And the only thing I used to get mad at, he said, wait a minute, we're selling them, lenses that probably cost a couple of $100 that he only buys once a year. but somebody is selling them $10,000 cameras that are crashing every time, and dummies and cars and everything. I want to sell them the cars that are getting ruined, or the cameras that are getting ruined. How could we do that? But sort of a mixed emotion. We were both happy and angry at the same time. We weren't selling the stuff that was getting ruined. We were selling the stuff that
was lasting.
I'm not sure that was good or bad for business, but
He's
anyway,
still loyal, though.
he's still loyal. And years later, he works at a different company, but he does the same thing and still buys lenses from us. And Pentax has become what are they now? Ricoh. Now they're Ricoh. Different. They acquired Pentax many years ago. Pentax has been around for over 100 years, but they became Ricoh. But we still sell their lenses too. But anyway, that was an interesting story. That
I want to answer your question too with a kind of a fun little. So mine is more of an evolving story. So like if I go back to when I was first doing this, probably like when my son Ryan's age is, our offices here. I don't know how long we've been in this office.
Since 2005.
Okay, so 2020.
21 years.
So our offices are right next to each other, back to back. So I've gone in there many, many times over the years. And early on, it was usually to ask technical questions, usually about a camera. Why do I want this? A global shutter versus a rolling shutter, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And then over the years, I would have to go in there less and less for those type of questions. But every now and then, probably as recently as a few months ago, there's a question, something that just I need the answer from the engineer, because that's my dad.
Which I forget now, because that's what happens when you get old. You know what I mean? You got to remember, did I tie my shoes this morning? Did I have breakfast? So it gets harder and harder to answer those questions, because that's what happens when you get old.
Yeah. So it's been fun, even as recently as a few weeks ago, before retirement in December, to go in and ask some of those questions. And now Ryan does that to me with a lot of that stuff. So it's kind of one of those things that I've seen evolve.
Yeah, see the flashbacks to things where you used to be. It's true.
It was really great to meet both of you. I wish you so much luck in your retirement, Ron. And good luck with you, Ron Jr., taking over the business and working with your son coming up. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
We really wish you the best. So thank you all for watching. And until next time, stay curious.